Hi, everyone. Here we are again with the Generation Mix podcast. This
Back
is
at it.
Kristen
And this is Haley Tenney reporting live.
and Cooper in the background. Sorry. We're here today, and we're going to talk with you about the top 3 fictional characters.
I think that we're talking about the top 3 characters from any TV show, book, or movie that made an impact on our lives.
Okay, yeah. I'm good with that description.
Is that how you
I
understood?
wrote down impactful fictional characters.
Great.
Literary or otherwise.
Same
so
page.
It's the same thing, just different. Generation Mix way of saying it.
Yeah, you said it in a way that's concise and got out of your mouth quicker, and I said it in a way that took 8 years.
But probably made a lot more sense to people. So it's all good. It's all good. You totally just made the point of our podcast.
You totally did. My hair is the size.
I can't wait to hear yours. And I'm wondering if we're going to have any of the same ones.
I doubt it. Very strongly. And I went first last time, so I think you get to go first this time.
My first one will be a big surprise to no one who knows me really well. And so my first fictional character that made an impact on me is Jo March from Louisa May Alcott's Little Women, which is my favorite book of all time.
Sure.
And I think that the reason I find her still a really vivid character all these years later. And now remember, I probably first read that book in late elementary, junior high, so that's a long time ago for me.
How many years would you say it's been since you read it? Since the first time you read it? And then how many times do you think you've read it since then?
I mean, I probably read it the first time when I was like 10 or 11.
Okay, so almost 40
So 40, probably almost 40 years ago. I've probably read it a half a dozen times in different formats since then.
In different formats. What, you've read the graphic
because I collect books. So,
Oh.
If I were to get a different version, then I would read it in that version, just even though it's the same story.
Sure.
I guess to be clear, I collect books that are meaningful to me, and now I've gotten rid of a lot of them, but I've kept all my copies of Little Women. So I have the very first copy that I ever got was from a neighbor. Her name was Mildred Wills, and her daughter, Carol Poff, who's on my Facebook feed, might be watching this, who knows. She had left the home and left the book behind, and so Mildred didn't want to throw it away, so she gave it to me. And because again, it was a big deal to have books back in the day. And so I, of course, read it because what else was I going to do with a great big book like that? And just loved it. I loved it. And I particularly loved the Jo. Okay, so I think the reason that Jo March was so impactful on me at such a young age is because she's the second oldest in her family after Meg, and she's older than Beth and Amy, and their dad gets sent off to war. I think he gets sent off to war, right?
I think so.
My all in the kind family stories. And she ends up cutting her hair, like before it was the thing to do, like Pantene for cancer or whatever. She sells it to make money for her family, and then she had this cute little snappy haircut that, she was still really,
oh my God.
But that was definitely not the style back then. So it really was a sacrifice. The other thing was that she wanted to be a writer. And I think that I really identified with that aspect of her character a lot. So that's my Jo March.
Can I psychoanalyze you for a second?
You betcha.
You betcha, darn.
Go right ahead.
Oh my God, that is such a white person thing to say.
Okay, whatever.
You betcha. So it is so wild to me, and by wild I mean not wild at all, that you would pick Jo March. It is such a basic choice, and I love that about you. But it's basic for like
Is
every
that
girl.
an insult?
No, excuse me, the compliment's coming.
Oh, okay, good.
The compliment is layered in insult peppers. Just kidding. And it's not even an insult at all. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just who I am. I'm so sorry. Anywho, so because I just can see little Cathy, probably, you know, like you said, 10, 11, you know, you're going through the changes. You're starting to feel hormonal. You're sitting, you're staring out of your window like you're in a music video writing, and you're like, I'm gonna grow up and be a writer. And Jo March, she's such a sacrificer. She's such a martyr. I'm a martyr too. Like you, and I just can totally see it. This was like preteen angst, your preteen angst moment, and you said, I am Jo March, and I love that.
I might have been. I might have said that.
I love that for you. It all tracks. It all tracks.
Whew, now I can't wait to hear yours. So
Why?
I can go analyze your
Oh my God, please do.
response.
Wait, what did you just say? Psychoanalyze.
So I can psychoanalyze your response.
Are you mad at me?
No, I love it. I love this is what it's all about.
Okay, I didn't mean to be mean. Now I'm afraid.
You were not mean.
Okay, well, I'm just having a day. Okay, so my first character that made an impact on me. I want you to guess it. So this character was the trifecta of this podcast episode because she was not a character from a book. She was not a character from a TV show. She was not a character from a movie. She was a character from all three. Yeah, that's right. This character's story was adapted into all of those formats: a book, a TV show, several TV shows, several movies, several books. And I want you to guess who the character is. Every single book and probably TV show and probably movie began with the same line. Are you ready? In an old house in Paris that was covered in vines lived 12 little girls in 2 straight lines. Listeners, Cathy, do you not know what it's from?
Well, the first thing that came to mind is Amelia Bedelia, but that's not the name of the.
Dude, Amelia Bedelia was almost one of the characters I picked.
But it's not. I can't think of it. It's the lady that lives in the hotel. No, not if there's 12 straight lines. I don't know.
In the hotel. Oh, Eloise, is that who you were thinking?
Yeah,
of?
I was thinking Eloise, but then you said, okay, wait, I have to stop and think because you said this character was a book.
Yeah.
A movie and several TV shows. And I'm assuming that it's a girl because of what you just said.
Duh.
Pippi Longstocking? No.
Also a great character. No, can I just tell you?
Because I'm not getting it.
I bet you're going to be like, oh, it's Madeline.
Damn it. Yes.
Madeline straight up was my favorite. I loved everything about Madeline. I loved that she was different than all the other girls at boarding school. I loved that she was so smart and was always up to some antics. And that really resonated with me. She was so tough. She loved adventure. And honestly, I think my favorite part of her, besides the fact that she was Parisian, because I loved Paris, was the iconic yellow hat, yellow raincoat. You could say that outfit defined my childhood and truly iconic in every way. She impacted me so much. I loved everything about Madeline. I couldn't get enough Madeline. I wouldn't say the book. I mean, obviously I didn't choose Madeline as one of the books that impacted me most because it didn't. It was Madeline. It was her aesthetic. I love Madeline. That's all I got.
That's a good one.
There's not much to psychoanalyze there.
No, there's not, but I think it's interesting that I guessed people that are sort of similar, kind of.
Yes.
I just didn't get the right one. Dang it.
You did, which is also kind of funny. I had to change up. This was a really hard one for me, more so than the books, because I just love fiction. I love characters. And when I was looking at the list, I had to be like, okay, Haley, you really need to change it up because these can all be independent lady characters. Like, you really need to have some sort of a diversity. So
Okay, well, that's a good segue to my next one because my next one is definitely not a female character.
Amazing.
Oh, do you want me to? You'll never get it.
Yeah, I want.
Okay. Primarily a movie character.
Amazing.
Played by a charismatic, incredibly hot actor
Ooh, okay.
from my generation. So,
George Clooney.
yeah. What?
George Clooney.
Mm-mm.
Brad Pitt.
Nope.
I'm also just saying this because I feel like those are people that my mom always was like, oh, they're cute. And I feel like you guys are from the same generation. So is it older than them?
Yep.
Is it Tom Selleck?
Ooh, no, but I do love me some Tom Selleck. To this day, I do love me some Tom Selleck.
You said primarily a movie character?
Yeah, mostly a movie character, mostly known for movies. Yeah.
Those were not good hints at all.
I know, it's bad. Well, I didn't know we were going to do this part, so I didn't prepare ahead of time. You're asking me to think of my feet. Okay, I'm just going to tell you. I'll tell you, he's from the movie The Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Harrison Ford is my favorite.
Yes.
I love Harrison Ford.
You do not.
Yes. Ask Robert. I love Harrison Ford.
Me too.
He's my favorite.
To this day, I love Harrison.
My favorite movie is Air Force One because he is so good in it.
Oh, well, you need to check out, if you have not, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Girl, I've seen all the Indiana Jones. We literally just watched Indiana Jones a couple weeks ago.
That's so much fun. Okay, so he's my next most impactful character. One, because he was, if you think about how the first movie starts, right? He's teaching, he's super nerdy, smart, intellectual, but then the student in the front row takes on her eyelids and then like blinks, I love you, or kiss me, or I can't remember what it was, but do you remember that part?
Yes.
And he like just is so nonchalant about it. And then all kinds of people are after him. And then he, I don't know, just doesn't have a problem with anything. He can handle everything except for a pit of snakes. You know what I'm saying?
He's calm, cool, and collected.
I love that guy. So, and he also played Han Solo.
I was just going to say who I almost picked as one of my characters. Cathy almost picked Han Solo.
Stop it. Okay, they're going to think that we're faking all of these.
No.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so I just have to say, one of the reasons that Indiana Jones is so impactful is because I really feel like back in the day, it was one of the very first movies I remember watching in someone's house on a VCR, on a beta tape, not even a VHS tape.
Wait, what'd you say?
Beta, B-E-T-A.
What is a beta tape?
It's the thing before there were VHS tapes. Do you even know what a VHS tape is?
Yes, I had a VHS player.
Okay, well, the beta came first, and then VHS came in and swallowed them up, even though beta was like better quality, but VHS had better marketing, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I remember watching this movie at someone's house, Chris Curtis, Jennifer Ostley, if you're out there, your house too. And then I remember watching it all the time whenever it was on. And then they came out with like the next, in the series. And my girlfriends and I were spending a week in Champaign-Urbana when Temple of Doom came out.
I was just going to say, was that Temple of Doom where they reach in and they grab the heart?
Grab the heart. Yes. We're staying on the U of I campus at their sister's house. They were twins. And
Wait, you mean it came out in the movie theater?
Yes.
Okay. Continue.
Crazy concept of these COVID times.
I mean, that movie's so old, but you saw it in theaters. That's crazy. Okay, continue.
I can't even believe you. God. Okay. Edit out me flipping you off. But that's how I felt.
You just flipped me off. I'm keeping it.
I just did. You're so old. You saw it in the theater. Yes. It was the summer of movies. We saw so many good movies that summer, but Temple of Doom was one of them. And the reaching in and grabbing the heart grossed me out. Anyway, still loved Indiana Jones. How can you not? Harrison Ford. Big heart moments.
Big heart moments.
I'm excited that you also think he's attractive.
I love Harrison Ford, and The Last Crusade is my favorite because I just think he is so wonderful in it.
Oh, and Sean Connery is in that one.
Yeah.
I mean, stop it. You can't even get a better duo than them.
So Sean Connery's old and crusty, but okay.
Nope. Back in the day, Sean Connery had it going on.
Wow, that's wild. Can I psychoanalyze?
James Bond. He was a James Bond.
Oh, he was. He's just so old. Okay, whatever. I'll check it out. Can I psychoanalyze you again?
Okay.
If one could say that there was a male version of a Joe March, I'd venture to say it would be Indiana Jones.
Why? That doesn't make any sense.
I'm sorry. You just said at the beginning of the movie, he's so studious. And like, he's not like literally what? You're like, Joe wanted to be a writer. She was so ahead of her time. Like, and then, but what does Joe do? She goes out and she fights for her family. What does Indiana Jones do? He goes out and fights people. And I'm not entirely sure what he's fighting for, but he is fighting.
Oh, he's fighting the Nazis.
Oh my God. The whole time? I thought that was just in the last.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, it's always the Nazis. Yeah.
I thought it was just the Last Crusade that was the Nazis. Well, thank God.
Nazis. Oh, and then that guy, I can't remember which movie it is, where the guy backs into the airplane propeller.
That's The Last Crusade.
Is that I don't remember which movie.
I think, or it's Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I don't know, but yeah.
So anywho, I feel like they have very similar characteristics.
Okay, I could maybe sort of buy that, but Harrison Ford's hot. That's what I'm just saying.
Whoa, and that's why you picked him? That's wild.
Retweet.
Literally, I did not pick Han Solo because I was like, Haley, you would only pick Han Solo because he's Han Solo. You wouldn't pick him because the character impacted you. So that's why I didn't pick Han Solo.
Did I maybe pick him for the wrong reasons?
No, girl, you live your truth. I'm happy for you. But it's my turn. I will be going now.
Okay.
So is your last character a female?
Nope.
Interesting. Okay. So I'm going to do my middle character, which is a man, sort of. So this character, and you have to guess, I would argue not the best villain of all time, but one of the best villains.
Snape.
Oh my God, correct franchise. Who's the actual villain of that?
Voldemort?
He
who shall not be named?
Must not be named. Yes. Also, Snape was not a villain. That is so offensive.
I know. You're right. But she kind of led you to believe throughout. You're right. He definitely was.
Yeah. So don't judge a book by its cover, Cathy.
I know. I was on Team Snape. I've read them all.
Ew, you were on Team Snape? Okay. Anywho. Truly, I would say Voldemort is probably my favorite character of all time ever.
What? Okay, why Voldemort specifically?
Because this man, I'm sorry, all this man needed was a hug. Tell me if this man had not gotten one real hug that this would not have all happened. You can't, because that is the case. Raised in an orphanage. He was born out of a mom who tricked his dad into being with her through love potions. His dad left them. His mom died in childbirth. He was brought up in orphanages. I'm sorry. Had somebody.
I feel like Albus Dumbledore cared for him.
Here's the deal. Don't even get me started on Dumbledore. I think that man was so obsessed with himself, but whatever. I mean, great leader.
This is a podcast topic, full show.
Dumbledore, charismatic leader, truly could get the troops to rally behind him. What else was there?
Super powerful.
Super powerful. What else was
smart.
There? Was he smart, Cathy, or was he just good at making you believe that he was smart?
No, he was super smart.
Okay, well, this is a cross I'll have to die on. But anyway, back to my turn. Voldemort needed a hug. What?
Okay. Do you feel like you need a hug?
I hate when people hug me more than anything. So no, I don't. But
I'm a hugger. I'm a hugger.
We've never hugged once. So Voldemort, back to me. I'm gonna
hug you next time I see you.
That would be upsetting because we are in a global pandemic, so it would also be,
whatever,
irresponsible. So I just think Voldemort is just a true testament to the fragility of the human condition, because this man truly and honestly just needed a GD hug, and I think everything would have been okay. And I think that's beautiful.
That is powerful. That's a powerful statement. It's not a statement I am sure that I 100% agree with. But again, that's probably a topic for another pod. Is there anything else you want to say about Voldemort?
He was scary though. I always have to hide. Like I would sit by my dad when we would go see the movie, and I would always hide because I was so scared of him, especially when he got his body. And that's why I said he was sort of a man, because he wasn't really a man. He was just kind of like a snake, and he was so scary. And he didn't have a nose. He just had 2 nose slits.
Yeah. What's the guy that Finnis? Who played him?
Alfred Finnis.
I'm not saying it right. Yeah, he did a good job.
Somebody. Ralph
Right.
Fiennes.
Yeah. Oh, Cathy Sig would be so disappointed in me for not knowing that. Okay, well, are you ready for my third and final most impactful?
Would you say these were all equally impactful, or have they been leading to most impactful?
I feel like this one is probably the most impactful for me.
Amazing. I saved mine for last as well.
Because I've written a speech about this person.
Amazing.
I've read all the books. I've watched all the movies.
Ooh. Okay. It's Harry Potter.
Played the video games, all of them, on my Wii with my kids.
What?
I've played the trivia games, and it is indeed Harry Potter.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I suck.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But the reason, so I'm old enough that I read all the books first.
Me too.
And I started them early enough that, and I don't think we'll ever have this phenomena ever again, that when the book was going to be released, I had a little cadre of people, Katie Coleman, Karen McDowell, Cathy Sig. I know there's other people I'm forgetting. Rachel Schlipman, I think. We would go to the bookstore and stand in line. And it would be like the line would be like, it would be like Black Friday, but it was like just Harry Potter release or whatever.
Yes, Cathy, I did this too at the
Get
Barnes and
dressed
Noble.
up.
Yes, I did this too.
You did this too?
I was a little kid.
As an adult.
LOL.
I know.
I guess my mom did too. She's the one that took me. So yeah.
I mean, then, so the other thing is that it's like a multi-generational thing. So Kayla has read all the books and of course seen all of the movies. Mel, she's just seen all the movies. She's not much of a reader, that one. But my point is, it's a character that I think transcends generations. I was obsessed with Harry Potter and Hogwarts and Muggles and the land that J.K. Rowling created from the very beginning, my very first time. I collect these books. Now I'm collecting a different version of these books as they, dole them out. I love the J.K. Rowling, backstory about how she was on,
food stamps or whatever.
Yeah.
And she wrote it on napkins.
Yeah. She's down to her last nickel and she's writing in a coffee shop with, anyway, it's amazing to me. He's amazing to me. And I'm going to try and find, because I did a whole Toastmasters speech about Harry. And I think it was around book 3, which is The Prisoner of Azkaban, which is my favorite book in the series. And is that your favorite book in the series?
No, but it's so funny because I often think, wow, you remind me so much of my mom, and that is her favorite too.
I love your mom.
Is it because of Sirius?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why it's her favorite too.
Sirius Black. Okay, so anyway, I need to find the speech and I'll send it to you. And it's a pretty good introduction, as I recall, and say not so humbly.
And say not so humbly.
But I remember when I gave the speech, people loved it and thought it was fun and what. I'll try and find it, see if I can send it to you. So that's it. That's I mean, I don't even know what else to say. What else can you say? We have to do a whole podcast about Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Yeah. Cathy, I just think the most amazing thing about us is that we have had similarities in the characters that we've chosen, which is crazy. But if anybody wants to know, if they wanted to know about us in just one sentence, it's the fact that we both chose characters from the biggest franchise in history. And you chose the main protagonist, and I chose the main antagonist.
Like, what do you think that says about us?
I mean, I think
What are you getting at?
I think it speaks for itself. That you're the ray of sunshine, and I might be the storm cloud. And you know what?
You're
okay.
not a storm cloud.
That's okay. Stop. Some days. Oh my God, that's amazing, though.
Okay, watch you now on to your biggest and most impactful character. I can't wait. Give me a hint. A hint.
She
Ooh.
is only from TV. She is, in our last podcast, I referenced the person who plays her. She is the best.
Wait, I know.
Who is it?
I know. I have if I don't know, I have a very good guess.
Who is it?
You want me to guess?
Yeah, I ruined your third one.
Nope.
It's Leslie Nope. So she really is, and like, not to be dramatic, it's been a long day, and also I love her so much. I could probably talk about her and cry because I love Leslie Nope so much. Because, and maybe it's because I never watched The Office until after Parks and Rec. I feel like people, whenever I say, oh, do you like Parks and Rec? They're like, yeah, but I like The Office better. Like, I don't feel that way at all. I think Parks and Rec, and I could literally talk about this for hours because Parks and Rec is just sheer genius. I've never seen a show. Have you seen it?
Oh, I've watched every episode.
There's never, I think.
It started, I was watching.
Amazing. There has never been a show, I think, in all time that has the best secondary, like, peripheral characters. Like JM, Councilman JM, and like John Ralphio and Mona Lisa Saperstein, like the Shauna Malway Tweep, the side characters who have these amazing backs.
And what's the pony's name? Or the
Bye, little Sebastian. Yes. No, it's just genius. And I think that, like, Amy Poehler, well, and I'm not talking about Amy Poehler, I'm talking about Leslie Nope. And maybe it's because I started watching it at like a very critical time, because I started watching it around the time that I started getting involved in more things. Like, I was becoming an adult. I was becoming the girl that people would be like, okay, Haley, you have too many emotions about this. You need to calm down. You shouldn't feel so strongly. You shouldn't overreact. You're overreacting. Stop being dramatic. You shouldn't care so much. And I spent so many like evenings crying because I was like, why don't people like me? Like, why do people think I'm too intense? Why, blah, blah, blah. And then literally, like, Leslie Nope, she just was so strong. But like, being a strong woman doesn't mean you're like strong. It can mean you have strong emotions, and it's okay. Because literally, I will never forget the first time somebody told me that I was being too emotional. If I wanted to be taken seriously, I needed to not be so emotional. And I literally was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I just feel like Leslie Nope really was there for me at that time, because I was like, you know what? If at the end of the day, I end up being the Parks and Recreation Director in Pawnee, Indiana, at least I'm being true to myself, and I'm being strong, and I'm showing who I am. Because anybody who doesn't like Leslie Nope, I think, is not being their true selves, because they clearly are not comfortable with a strong representation of real emotions. Because ladies get stuff done, and I am so fired up right now. I could cry. I love her so much.
I like Leslie Nope a lot too. And I agree that she got shit done, and she just was herself. Like, she just owned who she was. And I do love that about her. I love that show. And side note, you told me to listen to the Nick Offerman, Megan Mullally, what's it called? In Bed?
In Bed with Nick and Megan.
Yeah. Great podcast.
Great podcast.
So love that. I love that Amy Poehler has, what's her group called? Like, Strong
Amy Poehler's Smart Girls.
Yeah, Smart Girls. I love that. Yeah,
Mhm.
I love Amy Poehler, but Leslie Knope, I get it, girl. As someone who in my career has been also told by maybe somebody else that she's a little intense.
I didn't say it in a bad way.
But you're not the only one who's told me that. Or that I am very passionate or incredibly passionate about my ideas. I get me some Leslie Knope for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Good one. That's a good one.
Thank you.
Hey, we have to do a podcast about Harry Potter.
Yeah, we have to. Maybe about Parks and Rec too. I could talk about that for 8 years. But no, Harry Potter for sure, because I'm very intrigued about this Albus Dumbledore situation we stumbled upon.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love that you called Snape a villain. I just think there's a lot of layers we could unpack.
Oh, I kind of want to dig out journals from that time to see if I even journaled about Snape. You know,
Weird, but okay.
but I always did think that Snape was good at heart.
I mean, me too. We had debates, me and my mom, about whether or not we thought he would end up being like, did he really, betray Dumbledore? Did he really, or was this all just in the name of love? And it sure was. After
Dumbledore,
all,
I feel like it was Dumbledore's plan.
it was Dumbledore's plan, because Dumbledore needed to go out the hero. Also, I should have said this. I wanted to let you finish, but like you could say, I do not stan J.K. Rowling. You could say I no longer support her, but I can respect the fact that Harry Potter is the phenomenon. I literally have the Deathly Hallows tattooed on my body, but I do not like J.K. Rowling.
That's fair. I get it.
Yeah, we got a peace and blessings. Goodbye, listeners.
Peace and blessings.
Miss you already.